car of Ty Dillon, also expected to take just right sides only. Now they're going to be a 4-tire change up top while Brian Scott just 2 tires on the 3. It's going to be close, and it's the 3 car just edging the 9.
Great stop by Ty Dillon's crew to get him off of pit road first. Maintain that position he's held for most of the evening. 4-tire stop for Brian Scott. We'll see how that works out when we come back to Kentucky Speedway. Drag racing fans, make sure you tune in for the AAA Texas NHRA Fall Nationals. Qualifying Sunday morning, 3:30 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2. And then the finals tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, also on ESPN2. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series is in New Hampshire this weekend. Second race of the chase, the Sylvania 300 at New Hampshire. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. And next week, next Saturday, the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Dover, 3:30 Eastern on ESPN. Number of cars getting waved around now as the leader, Ty Dillon, gets behind the pace car, Jeremy Clements, and James Busher getting the wave around. And again, we saw that Justin Boston received the free pass. He'll be the 14th car on the lead lap. So, Ricky, Ty's task now, hold off Chase Elliott, McDowell, and Sadler to begin with on this restart.
So far, so good. I mean, he's been in complete control. I think the only question mark I have is what's the benefit of 4 tires for Brian Scott? He's in the 3rd row. Scott needs to be really aggressive here on the start. Try to knock off 2 or 3 of these cars in their early laps.
We talked to his crew chief earlier, Danny Stockman. You see his record here at the Kentucky Speedway. It's been very good. And as noted from pit road, different setups for Austin to Ty. They've been able to do it whenever they've come here with this 3 car. Restart coming up. Lap 174 when they come by the start-finish line. Ty Dillon has chosen the outside line again. Chase Elliott, championship leader, will have the inside. He's got to be careful what he's protecting. Can he go out and win this race at Kentucky? Giving it a strong challenge down into turn number 1. Side by side, Elliott and Dillon.
Brian Scott restarted 6th. He's in 3rd.
Just flying as they go down the backstretch. 26 laps to go. You got to make your move now.
Cale Conley is running 6th. He said that early in the week. Got the 14 car up in the wall.
And the 14 of Eric McClure hard into the wall. A lot of damage on that car.
Stay out there, Brian. Stay out there.
Appears to have lost the brakes.
Nah, he'll fix it.
So Eric was running back in the 30th position in the back of the pack there. Something went big time wrong. Ryan Reed receives the free pass, running in 15th position.
It's that time of the race where drivers get really narrow-minded.
How about 4 wide?
Well, that's an example.
Chase Pistone into the back of Eric McClure's car and sent him straight into the wall.
Yeah, you get paid to be selfish late in the race, but you got to be reasonable also. 4 wide's not going to work. See how the corner squares off?
Yeah, it looks wide going in, doesn't it?
Well, it's completely different than getting into turn 1. So what you get away with over in turn 1 doesn't work in turn 3.
Safety crews now telling Eric, you see the window net down there. They're talking to him. And
window net's down. I'd just like to see the driver step out.
Yep, see him moving around in there. And helmet is off of Eric as well. Wait for him to pop out. Now, interestingly, while this was going on, Chase Elliott was legging it out just a little bit ahead of Ty Dillon and is scored as the race leader. There he is behind the pace car. He took his opportunity, Ricky.
Well, he did. He sure did. He capitalized, and he'll, I would think, sort of like a game of chess, he's going to take the high lane, because the benefit of the high lane is you get that run off of turn 2. So he'll get the high lane on the restart, and then we're going to see Ty Dillon in a position he hadn't been in most of the night. Rick, what do you got?
Yeah, it's interesting because Chase Elliott and Greg Ives were just having that conversation a moment ago, and it was a very short one. What do you think, high or low? Oh, high, the only way to go. Chase made that call. He's the guy in the seat. He knows exactly what he wants. And most importantly, Greg Ives completely agreed with him all night long. That the high line has been the way to go on these restarts. They just have to do it right. Now, interesting to point out, there was some radio traffic between Chase and Greg Ives just a few moments ago, where Greg Ives was warning him that they were concerned, that NASCAR was a little concerned that they're going into that restart, they were going a little too quick, both he and Ty. So they want to make sure that going into the restart, that the speed isn't too fast. If not, they said NASCAR would black flag him.
Interesting. Yeah. So here's what we know about restarts. The control car is the leader. He chooses the lane, and when they get to the double red line, that's where he has the authority to start the race. If he doesn't start the race by the single red line, then the flagman has the option of waiving it and starting it on his own.
And everyone can go.
Exactly.
Don't have to wait for the leader by any means. So Ty Dillon now running second. Vince is caught up with his crew chief, Danny Stockton.
Well, Danny, first of all, how about addressing what's going on with the restarts and how you guys have been warned in that regard?
I've been in this position many times, working with rookies, and you know, they're learning. So you know, we got to tell them. And I don't think it's that big of a deal. Everything's fine. We just we got to go win this thing right here.
How about the difference between starting on the inside versus starting on the outside?
I don't think it matters. You know, I think our car is good enough on the top or the bottom. We've led from both. We just got to get a good restart. And I know Ty Dillon can do it right here. We believe in him, and we're going to make it happen.
Thanks, Danny. Rick?
Standing by with Greg Ives. We've watched Ty Dillon pretty much run away with this all night. Does your guy have what it takes to get him in this last stake?
Well, you know, the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet have been great all night. You know, just trying to get track position has been the key to our success tonight. You know, that three car's been strong. Chase is, you know, eager to get up on the wheel. He sees the front row. He sees that checker flag. And I think he's going to give the Nationwide Insurance fans a good run tonight.
Are you a little surprised to be, at this point, potentially leading this race into this last stint, considering how you kind of struggled over the last month at this track?
Yeah, I mean, we have such a strong team and such a great driver. It's never, you know, awe-shocking to see what's going to happen next, you know. The thing that we always want to do is give Chase the opportunity to win races, and hopefully we have that tonight.
Very much so. Once again, Greg Ives talking about Chase Elliott. Jim?
On board with Chase Elliott. This is our last restart, Ricky. The previous one.
Yeah, so Ty got a really good start, and you know, one advantage to being on the low side, because there's such a kink in the front stretch, is that it's a little bit straight way around. Chase Elliott didn't spin his tires. He had enough speed into the turn one and through the middle of the corner that he prevailed. Now this is a pretty good shot here from Brian Scott, who restarted sixth. Remember, he was the first tire with four tires.
Ready, green flag, green, green.
Second gear.
Clear, all clear.
Third gear. High gear.
3 wide bottom. Clear, all clear. 22 seconds. One, you're still clear.
Now we're on with Ty
Still
Dillon.
inside here, inside. Inside.
I didn't hear him off any wheel spin.
Inside. Going 1 second.
Went through the gears really smoothly.
Still inside. Throttle up here. Inside.
Did not get all the way out of the accelerator.
Inside corner. Still inside. Coming back to the inside. You're inside.
Ty Dillon had a really good restart. It's just the 9 car had a great restart. See that right front moving left, right? If we had an in-car camera, you'd see his hands moving left, right.
So we've already heard Chase Elliott talk about the fact that the high line will be his choice. Interesting to note, in June, Kevin Harvick restarted from the inside with 5 to go on the final restart and made it work over Kyle Busch at that point, who was the control car, the restart leader. So interesting how this could play out if you get a really good start on the inside. It might work. And the 3 car has been really good.
Well, you referenced one of the best drivers on the planet, Kevin Harvick, and 4 wins this year in the Nationwide Series. But you know, if you're doing your job, even when you're not winning races, you go back home and you study how drivers won, like Kevin Harvick, who has won several times now on 1.5 mile tracks this year. So It all comes down to this, about being perfect here with 20 laps to go.
I'll tell you another place you have to be perfect, a track that Ricky and I have already talked about, Dover. That is next Saturday, September 27th, as we look at our ticket to the race. That'll be the next race in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. And for tickets to that event and other upcoming races on the schedule, you can go to NASCAR.com/tickets. Me impressed with Dover. Ricky loving the drop-off down into turn 1.
It's all about aggression there. As soon as the car settles on all 4 springs, you go back to the accelerator. That's when you got the most grip. But you got to have the courage to do it.
Maybe that's why I've been not so impressed. Maybe I've never had the courage to do it.
I had it when I was young. It was fleeting.
So a couple of young guys at the front of this one to get it restarted. 180 laps completed, 20 to go to complete the 300 miles here tonight. Here are the championship standings as we run right now. Chase has legged it out a little bit over his teammate Regan Smith, who currently runs in 10th at the restart. We'll see if Chase can use that outside line to his advantage, or if the dominant car of the night, the 3 of Ty Dillon, can make it work from the inside.
Dave, one of the challenges for drivers is that they have to understand over the course of a race what their limits are. In every position they put themselves in, they have to understand, here's my limit. And then you need to go to that limit. One of these limits is going to be restarting inside of another car, and how deep can I run into the corner without getting loose. That's going to determine if Ty Dillon wins this race or not.
And then you've got row 2, Brian Scott, Michael McDowell. No series wins ever. How hard are they going to be pushing? What kind of restart will they get? And what factor will they be diving into turn number 1?
That's a great point. He's got the freshest tires, the only driver among the top 4 with new left sides.
Lights are off on the pace car. It makes the left-hand turn back onto pit road. The field is in the hands of Chase Elliott, coming back to green in Kentucky. Elliott with a great jump. 3 wide for 3rd behind Ty Dillon.
It was as good as it could get for Chase Elliott there. Both drivers were really late starting that race, and I think that might be a reflection of the warning that they got.
McDowell through to 2nd. Michael McDowell with authority taking over 2nd now. Can he chase down Chase Elliott?
The old saying in the sport is save your best for last, and that's what we're seeing out of Michael McDowell.
Ty Dillon sliding back just a bit, now under challenge from his teammate Brian Scott. Oh, and Sam Hornish with trouble. He's in the wall.
Yeah, he was going backward into the wall. Which means probably contact somewhere there.
Was running 7th at the time this happened.
I'm okay. Probably going to the garage here.
And the bad luck for Sam in that car continues. The car was wicked loose earlier. Not sure if they got it adjusted on this stop.
Yeah, typically a lazy spin is when you're by yourself.
Oof.
And when you see a car shoot into the wall, it's because of that.
Was trying to come down and take that position completely over Regan Smith, and Regan wasn't given a lot of ground there.
No, and you know what? With 17 laps to go, he shouldn't.
Yep.
You know, I mean, that's for them to settle. But
Still there. Got the 62 with the run with the 7. Still there inside my
Regan
nose.
was told the 62 was
My
on
nose
as
on
well.
you.
So.
yeah,
We got spun here.
it just gets really busy. So Sam's doing his job. He's trying to clear the 7.
Hold up there.
If you're
All
a
right.
member of the 7 team, you're applauding your driver because, look, with 17 to go, you just go. You know, that's what we're paid to do. But there's always a time in a race where 2 drivers fight for the same piece of real estate.
This was just it for Sam Hornish and Regan Smith.
Exactly.
So Hornish on pit road for repairs. You see some of the downside to his season. They're having one earlier this year.
I'm surprised because I expected turn 3 to widen out some, and it hasn't. And that's, you know, that's exactly what we saw with Sam Hornish coming down across the nose of the 7 car, is that he wanted to get back down to where there was grip, where the car was performing, and it was occupied.
Trevor Bayne with some damage on his race car as well. Vince, what happened to the 6?